All right, welcome back to the Chasing Winners College Football Edition. Week 10 coming up here. We're fairly late into the season now, so we actually have college football playoff rankings as well. We're at that point. Hitting November, getting cold weather out here. Some snow games action this week. We're sitting here on Wednesday. Kyle Massaloni here with JP Lyon as always. We'll get into the football in a second, but the most important question is, JP, did you dress up as anything for Halloween this year?
No, I was traveling for work on Halloween, and was very unproductive while doing so. So I did not dress up. I had my Halloween socks on. That was the extent of my corporate Halloween activity. Did you?
Nice. So I went out for Halloween in Miami, but I didn't really come prepared with a costume. So I just ended up not changing at all from the game and just wearing my Sean Taylor jersey as my costume. And it worked. I got a few call outs on it.
Very
Good
cool.
good stuff. No
You guys look
effort.
alike.
Oh yeah, we look very alike. Zero effort put in there, but I was thinking about getting something going at the office, getting some merchandise over there to put together some sort of costume, but didn't want to put that effort in. So back to the actual topic at hand, college football. JP, how'd we do last week?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Kyle. Last week was a bit of a rough one. So we went. So Kyle went 5-9-1. He was 1-5 on his podcast picks, and he did win his best bet. And then I was 4-10-1, so I lost another game
Oh
on the
my
regular
God.
games.
I didn't even realize you were worse than me. I knew I was terrible, but
Yeah, and I went 2-4 on pod picks, so I again beat you by a game on those. And I won my best bet. And the podcast teaser hit for the first time, so we are up to negative point 0.12 units on the season.
there we
Um,
go.
I am 7 games behind Kyle in regular picks with not enough weeks remaining, and I'm 1 game behind him on pod picks. Um, so that makes a ton of sense.
Hey, we have bowl season where we literally pick every bowl game. You have all the time in the world to catch up.
It's true. That's true. That's going to be a long, a long stretch.
But it'll take quite a bit to come back from seven because I don't think I've knock on wood here. I don't think I have a week that bad again.
I sure hope I don't.
All right, into the games this week. Hopefully we do quite a bit better
CFB.
than last week here. Starting off at big noon on Fox, as it seems like we usually do every week. Number 23 Kansas State on the road against number 7 Texas. I believe ESPN is using the college football playoff rankings now, so instead of the AP, which is, I don't know how much more reliable, but a little more, I guess. I hate the committee.
Oh no. Already?
I mean, it's I hate that James Madison can't be ranked. I
Terrible.
I hate that Air Force is only number 25, but also understand it because they don't play anybody. But it's like, come on, reward teams for being undefeated.
Yeah.
And up top, Washington not being in really pisses me off.
Not being top 4.
Not being top four right now. I
I
mean,
think they're
that'll
in the
figure
poll somewhere.
that. Yeah. I know that'll. I mean, in as in a playoff spot. That'll figure itself out. Obviously, we still got weeks and weeks ahead, and two of the teams in the top four play each other pretty soon. But yeah, that frustrated me a bit.
Yeah, I think that's kind of. I think top three there were pretty much what I expected. Um, Ohio State has the best resume just based on who they've beaten. Georgia and Michigan haven't played anybody, but they're good. And then I assumed Washington would get that spot, especially because beating Clemson looks really bad right now. Um, but
they beat LSU too.
yeah, but we know they're bad, and we just keep ignoring that. So
The committee doesn't, clearly.
yeah, they're gonna learn eventually here. Maybe this week. Who
Maybe
knows?
this week.
But yeah, it obviously, like you said, it will shake itself out. I don't think it's a year where Michigan and Georgia or Michigan and Ohio State can both make it. I don't think it's that type of year.
No. I don't think we get multiple teams from any conference, which the SEC people will probably hate me saying that, but yeah, I hell no, we're gonna get a team from the SEC. I was like, that would be the most shocking thing ever if Georgia just lost 2 games, Alabama loses again, and none of them make it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be tough.
Yeah, that's just not happening. That's just in my dream scenario, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My dream scenario
Is four
is
Big 12 teams.
is two Pac-12s in its last year, an ACC, and a I guess a Big 12 over a Big 10 would be really funny.
Sure, there you go.
Yeah. So back to the game we were about to cover before I decided to go on a little bit of a rankings overview. So number 23 Kansas State on the road in Austin against number 7 Texas. Texas are 4-point favorites. JP, you know what I'm gonna ask here is was Quinn you number 1 was Quinn Ewers out last week, and number 2, is he playing?
He was out last week.
Yeah, I
don't know if he's playing.
Here we go. Time for me to look up Quinn Ewers again. Yeah, Quinn Ewers is out.
Probably out. Yeah.
He's out, like, officially.
Oh, okay, good. Not good, but good. Um, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Kansas State is on such a roll. They have really seemed to have turned a corner, same kind of way they did last year. And they're hitting the home stretch of their schedule where it's definitely possible for them to win out and make the Big 12 championship game again and not make the college football playoff again. But 2 straight years of that would be really impressive for them. However, I'm not going to pick that. I'm going to take Texas -4 here because I was a big fan of what they did against BYU last week, as that was one of the 4 games I picked right. And so I'm gonna keep rolling with them. Texas -4 here, and we'll see how long I can trust Malik Murphy.
I'm gonna do something that I probably shouldn't do, and I'm gonna go Kansas State +4. Why?
Okay.
I think the line is kind of weird, even with Texas without Quinn Ewers. They're still at home. They're still coming off of a dominant win last week. So are Kansas State, like you mentioned. K-State are on a roll here. Looking at their last 2 games, they outscored TCU and Houston a combined 82-3. That's absurd. Go back. If you count the week before, now I'm gonna have to pull out a calculator and do some math. But if you count the week, because I can't do 38 plus 42, I'm an idiot. That's 80. If you go, oh no, that's not 80. I'm even more of an idiot. That's
It is
120.
38 plus 42.
38 plus 82 is what I meant.
Okay, yeah, that's 120.
I'm all over the place. So 120 to 24, the last 3 games, the combined aggregate, if you count their game against Texas Tech. Now, none of those 3 teams are nearly as good as Texas, but like you mentioned, they are rolling. It's hard. It's just hard for me. It's hard for me to pick against them, knowing what they did last year too. I think they may run this out and make the Big 12 championship, which would be insane considering where we started. I mean, the Missouri loss doesn't look nearly as bad now. The Oklahoma State loss doesn't look nearly as bad either. So I guess we really didn't start in that bad of a place.
Yeah, it could have always been worse. The public is very slightly towards Texas right now, 52%. But this is a game where they don't know which side to pick, so it's the least helpful for us because it doesn't tell us anything.
And look, we're on opposite sides of it. We can't agree on a pick here either.
We are the public.
We are exactly the public, which hopefully we're not moving forward. But yeah, that's how we're starting. So the next game here, we got unranked Texas A&M. Thank God. I thought there was a chance they were going to be ranked over Air Force, and that would have really pissed me off. Going on the road to Oxford to face number 10 Ole Miss. Ole Miss are 3-point favorites. As always, this is a noon game on ESPN, by the way. I missed that at the top. As always, Lane Kiffin has had some choice words to say. He said pretty much earlier this week, he said pretty much that Jimbo Fisher's fighting for bowl eligibility again. That was paraphrasing there, but that was the gist of the shot that he threw at Jimbo at the end of his speech.
Interesting.
So, JP, number one, I feel like he's right, obviously, because Texas A&M just seems in a perpetual situation where everybody thinks they're good, and then they're mediocre, and then they pull off a huge win at the end of the season somehow, and Jimbo keeps his job. So how do you think this one plays out?
I mean, aren't they 5-3?
Yes.
I wouldn't say a 5-3 team is fighting for bowl eligibility. I mean, they're primed for another 8-4 season. I could definitely agree with that. But this is.
Oh yeah, they have Abilene Christian on the schedule. They're making.
See, there you go. They're below. To me, I don't trust this line. I'm surprised you didn't come in with a what is this line? I'm a little surprised with that, honestly. Ole Miss only being 3-point favorites against a team that doesn't play a lot of offense right now is interesting. 71% of the public on Ole Miss here. And so, naturally, I'm going to take A&M plus 3 because I keep picking against Ole Miss and it keeps biting me, so I'm going to keep doing it. Is that a good reason? Doesn't sound like a good reason.
That doesn't really sound like a good reason to me, but I guess it's sound reasoning in the betting world.
How about if I think Ole Miss is going to win and cover? Is that a good reason to take A&M covering?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm going to do that one then.
So I found the exact Lane Kiffin quote that started off the rant. He was discussing having a top 10 ranking 3 seasons in a row, and he was like, to be able to do that, especially when you're going up against a program, is great, especially when you're going up against a program you would think would be the team in the top 10 with their roster, but their coach's goal is to be bowl eligible.
Yo. They're gonna have some fun
Oh.
tweets after this game if they win, but
So if Jimbo can't fire the team up here after that, I think he's lost the plot. He's lost the plot already. I think he should be. I
yeah.
think he's been fired after last year, but the buyout's just so high. They'll figure out a way with that oil money at Texas A&M though.
I hope they do.
I don't. I hope they just
That's
perpetually.
fair. Never mind. Never mind. As an AM, as a fan of A&M, I would hope they do. As me, I don't hope that.
Yeah, I just want them to keep sucking and not
hmm
be. They were the test of they were the do Miami suck test 2 years in a row. Last year we sucked. This year we kind of don't, kind of do. I still don't know. Our quarterback sucks. The rest of the team is great. Weird situation, but all that said, Lane's coming in with some swagger here. It's just hard for me to pick against that, even though I probably should, because when he comes in with swagger, he's time and time again faltered. But I'm going Ole Miss -3. And then he is going to tweet spectacular things after the game.
Yep.
He
Yep.
has
That's. Go
he'll
ahead.
have he'll have his full Saturday to just tweet. The
Yeah.
game will be
No.
over at 3:30. He'll be out of his press conference at like 5.
And then he can start tweeting from his dog's account.
Yeah.
Juice can start going in on Jimbo.
Imagine. Oh man, that would be great. So next game here, I should definitely just keep the list up on my phone while we're recording. That would be very smart. Um, we have number 12 Missouri going on the road to get to number 2 Georgia, 3:30 CBS. Georgia are 15-point favorites. It's funny to see a top it's funny to see a top 15 matchup where the spread is that wide and
Yeah.
think, yeah, that's about where it should be.
hmm
Especially this late in the season.
Yeah. That's horrifying. It's a horrifying spread. It's the next largest spread we talk about this week is 6, and then there's this one. I don't know. I mean, you asked me last week if Georgia could play offense without Brock Bowers. Turns out they can.
Yeah, yeah, they easily beat Florida, put up 43 points, but Florida's also not good.
Mhm.
But is Missouri very good? I guess we'll find out.
Thought they were. I don't know. They have an offense.
They do have an
Um,
offense.
I don't know that they have a defense.
That LSU game, if you watched any of that LSU Missouri game,
hmm
that'll tell you they very much do not have a defense.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's concerning. The other thing that's concerning here, 71% Missouri.
Oh my God.
I really hope they're just looking at the two teams and the numbers and say, oh, number 12 is 15-point dogs. We'll take number 12. Um, but I am unfortunately going to have to ride with the public here because I do think Georgia wins, but I can't see Missouri as a 15-point dog and not take them. So I'll be a square on one game. Well, one so far. Missouri plus 15. And the offense probably takes a step back after last week's, or Georgia's offense probably takes a step back after last week. Missouri's been prepping for this game for 2 weeks. They just punch them in the mouth early and it'll be fine.
It'll all be fine if you punch them in
Yeah.
the mouth early.
Although that's what Florida did.
Yeah, exactly. So your public line there just emphasized the belief in my pick even more. I came in this like I'm leaning Georgia, but I'm not 100% certain that's where I'm going to go. You could possibly convince me otherwise, but no, you gave me the public at 70+% the other way. I'm going Georgia -15.
So that swayed you here, but not for picking A&M,
No.
even though it's the exact same public line.
Well, the thing is, I was already on the Georgia side, and I just needed that affirmation. The other one, I'm very confident on. Well, I wouldn't say very confident, given the line is wild, but I like Ole Miss.
That's Kyle's love language is lines of affirmation.
Lines of affirmation. You have affirmed me in my pick. Next up here, it is sadly the last Bedlam game we're probably going to see in a very, very long time, given that it seems they're not going to schedule the game in a very long time, which is sad. 3:30 ABC. Wild that they didn't give them the primetime spot for the last go around, but that would have been nice. I guess USC draws better numbers. I don't know. Number 9, Oklahoma on the road in Stillwater. So great that it's in Stillwater too, like the last one. Love that.
Yep.
Playing number 22, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma are 6-point favorites. The over-under for the last one, because you just have to mention it in this game, is 60.5. JP, you think they put up enough points to match the classics here?
I don't know if they do. I'll probably still end up taking it just because you have to.
Yeah.
But as far as the game itself, the reason they didn't put it at night is because, as we discussed previously, it would have shifted the line all the way to Oklahoma State -1. So can't put a night game in Stillwater and do it like that. So, is Oklahoma going to bounce back here? It's kind of the question. Is do they bounce back or do they stay flat? And then will they actually make the Big 12 championship game? What a change from a week ago.
I mean, it feels like a bounce back spot.
It does to me.
It does to me too, which sucks. But Oklahoma State winning this game would be just the funniest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Winning the last one, get to hold it over them for like 20 years probably. You left the conference, we took the last game. Then
they don't schedule it on purpose, so they don't have to do it again.
Yeah. Like Oklahoma somehow like runs roughshod on the SEC, and they're like, no, we're not scheduling this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I told you that this is the biggest differential on the public line, which side do you think that's on?
Oklahoma.
It's not.
What?
There, it's 72% Oklahoma State.
People really just bet based on the last week, don't they?
Well, they also beat UCF by 2.
Well, yeah, they grinded out UCF, but
yeah. So yeah, that's interesting.
That's the last 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that, and I'm remembering last year's game where I told myself going in, I said, Oklahoma State is going to put up a fight here. They're angry about Oklahoma leaving. They are going to win this game outright. And then they lost by like 70 touchdowns. So while I don't like it that and the public line here are going to make me pick Oklahoma -6. And I kind of feel confident in that one. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, I hate that I'm kind of taking the rivalry close game approach out of here because that's another system I wrongly somewhat use at times.
Like
But
last week.
yeah. And I'm definitely going to use it next week. I don't know if you know the game that I'm talking about there.
Is that Miami FSU?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But
So when Miami's a 21-point dog, like every Florida State opponent is, you'll take Miami.
It's just going to be a close game because it's a rivalry game, you know? It always is, except last year when they beat us by 50 and 2020 when we beat them by 50. So but I'm not using that here because the bounce back spot reigns even stronger. So I'm going Oklahoma -6 and I'm going to hate every second of it. I really pressed too many things here.
We've got the game with a very high total next.
Yes, I know.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm just finding so the game that beat this out for the primetime spot on ABC 7:30 ABC 4:30 local time, so it'll still be light out. Actually, it's winter, so we might see a nice sunset by the time the second quarter comes around. Number 5 Washington on the road to number 20 USC. Washington 3-point road dogs. I believe this is actually still using the AP poll now. I'm not sure. Where's Air Force? I don't know. It's a poll that they're using. Washington are 3-point favorites. The total is a whopping 76.5. It has to be mentioned because USC doesn't play any defense. They put up a lot of points. I'm gonna say it. This is the game. What the hell is this line? What's going on here? I know USC even at least the Utah game they lost was still close because they constantly put up enough points to keep it close, but they're non-existent on defense. Washington might put up 60 on them. They might hit the total on their own, and it's a ridiculous total.
Cal almost hit the total on their own. Yeah, I guess it didn't shock me as much as it shocked you. Just they're at home. Their offense isn't gonna let the game get too out of hand, probably, unless you're Notre Dame. But yeah, I mean it's the third lowest public differential of the week for our thing because it's only 69% Washington.
Nice.
So it is nice. So I'm just going to choose to believe that the books believe in USC for some unknown reason. And I'm going to take Washington. Going to be a square for the second time this week. Might happen again next time, but this isn't a spot where I see Washington forgetting how to play offense. So if I trust their offense this week, then that's usually a sign that I'm going to take them. So I don't think it's a 15-7 game. I think it's going to be more of they put up 50 and I trust them to cover 3.
So this is also Michael Penix versus Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
That that's probably going to draw a lot of interest from Wild that we're talking about Michael Penix as an NFL scouted quarterback now. But
Huge matchup to for who wants to be the Vikings' next quarterback.
Massive matchup for that. But
yeah,
I think Michael Penix, it's going to be really funny because he's playing against an awful defense. I think he's going to outplay Caleb Williams, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh my God, Michael Penix is the #1 pick," and it's like, no, he's just playing an awful defense.
I hope not. He needs to fall.
Yeah,
he's the one I want. Him or Josh Dobbs.
I mean, I don't. Honestly, God, it may be a hot take now. Drake May over Caleb Williams. I can't believe I'm saying it. Because the Giants are going to have a pick that are up there. We're not going to have #1, I don't think. But
you have Daniel Jones. You're fine.
Oh yeah, he's non-guaranteed after next year, so we could draft a quarterback and say, "Fuck you. You're a high-paid backup for 1 year." But yeah, I thought we were fine with him. We'll leave that for another time. I'm going Washington -3 here. You saw me shocked at the line, but I'm not going to succumb to the what is this line, pick the other side here, because I think it's gonna be a high-scoring game. Washington's just gonna outscore them because USC doesn't play defense. It's probably gonna be like 50-40 and easily hit the total, which is ridiculous. May see a live total of 100 at some point.
Scores and yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going Washington -3. They're gonna make a statement. They're gonna be potentially top 4 next week. And Michael Penix, he already had a Heisman moment, but he's gonna have a moment to seal it. And then last game of the week here, a weird 7:45 kickoff. So yeah. I guess you could watch that USC Washington game and then put this on like 15 minutes later on a second screen and watch, and this screen as the ending alone. Number 14 LSU going on the road against number 8 Alabama. The game is on CBS in Tuscaloosa. Alabama, this is another one. Alabama are only 3-point favorites against an LSU team that we both agree suck. What? Why?
What? Because no one else agrees with us. The general public seems to think they're good.
God damn it! Why?
I don't know. I don't know. They watched them lose by 3 touchdowns to Florida State, and they said, "Yeah, that's a good team."
They beat Missouri. That's a good win.
7 maybe.
What's up? They beat them by 10 because of the.
That's right, the pick 6.
The moment that you got screwed off.
I think I took LSU.
Did you? Oh yeah,
Pretty sure you got screwed.
No, we both took LSU.
Oh, we both
celebrating about that. That's right.
Nice. Good for us.
And then they lost to Ole Miss off, if you watch that game, just some of the worst defense you've ever seen in your life. So what makes you think they'll be able to stop Bama at all? I guess they just think they're going to outscore them.
Yeah, I think the theory would be that they're going to outscore them and that Bama's going to stop themselves, just with not sustaining drives. And I think, did Alabama play last week? While you have it up, I assume.
No, they're coming off a bye.
Bama -3. Oh, okay.
Which makes us even more crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is the bye week.
This is the second lowest differential, 67% Alabama.
It's bye week Saban as a 3-point favorite against an LSU team that's not that good.
There's a higher percentage of people on Oklahoma State than Alabama this week.
If this was under the lights at LSU, fine. If it's a Death Valley game, fine. I kind of get it, but it's not.
And Bama's not that good. That's a theory, right?
That is the theory here, I guess. Is anybody
Yeah.
that good?
No, that's the beauty of sports.
Yeah. We're going back to what we did last year, where we just constantly ask if anybody is good, and the answer is
No
no.
one is good. No one is good. Except Georgia. Georgia was good last year.
Georgia was very good last year.
Except for when they almost lost to Missouri.
I think Washington is also very good.
This is the 1 year anniversary of Missouri kicking like 15 field goals and almost beating Georgia.
Yeah. Amazing.
Are you going to take anything else but Bama but -3 here?
No, I'm on
Mhm.
I'm on 5 of the 6 favorites this week, and it kind of terrifies me.
I was going to do that until I took Missouri.
But I feel like it's fairly sound reasoning behind all of them.
Mm.
And you affirmed me on one of them. So
That was against my pick. Yeah.
so moving on to best bets. JP, what's your best bet this week? Where are you leaning?
I am taking a look at, and now I have to find it again. Uh, oh no. You can tell I'm very prepared. Um, just don't be a noon game. It was a noon game. 11 a.m. I'm sorry. Okay. So last week, I referenced the Mississippi State Arkansas game where Mississippi State won 7-3, and I said fade Mississippi State, and I went Auburn -6.5, and it worked. So I think I'm the SEC god, and I'm going to look at Arkansas, Florida this week. Florida are 6-point favorites against Arkansas at home. Florida can't play on the road, but they can play at home outside of South Carolina, and um, and Arkansas is historically bad. They're just a bad football team, and they're not getting better. I don't expect
They're
them to
getting
start getting
worse.
better anytime soon. So, Florida -6 is my best bet. Uh, but I don't know. It's kind of all I got. It's an easy one for me. As soon as I saw the line, I took it. I'm sure if I go look at the public line, they're going to be all over Florida, so that'll make me feel bad about myself. Oh my Lord. 67% Arkansas. Kyle, what is that?
What? Wait. Excuse me?
Usually, like, I won't actually put money on my best bet. I have to now. This is absurd.
What? Excuse?
So, so yeah, 67% of the public thinks that Arkansas is going to cover a 6-point spread against Florida on the road. And that's not going to happen. So I'm going to take Florida -6. Kyle.
Okay, so my best bet is based on a pattern that has been developing with a certain ACC team. That ACC team is Georgia Tech. They are 4-4, alternating wins and losses. So every single odd numbered week, or is it's the other way around? God damn it. I don't know. Wait. No, this is week 10, but it's their 9th game. So every odd numbered game they lose, and every even numbered game they win. This is an odd numbered game from them. To think about how wild this. So the losses are to Louisville, Ole Miss, okay. Then they lost to Bowling Green and Boston College. The even number weeks, they beat South Carolina State, okay. Then they beat Wake Forest on the road, Miami on the road, and North Carolina on even number weeks. So they just play better on even number weeks and play like shit on odd numbered weeks. UVA are 1.5 point favorites here, coming off of I was at the game this week. They played us very close. They played us very hard. If Tyler Van Dyke didn't throw 3 interceptions, we would have blown them out. But they also played North Carolina. They also beat UNC the week before. 2-1 in the last 3.
That super young freshman apparently is pretty good. He's got them on the up and up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pick them to go 3-1 in the last 4 because because it's an odd number game for Georgia Tech. So UVA -1.5 is my best bet. And now I think you have an interesting pick that I may like for the podcast parlay this week.
So yeah, I mean it's starting to terrify me, because North Carolina State beat Clemson last week.
It's a letdown spot.
It is a letdown spot. They beat them pretty good, didn't they?
Final score was 24-17. So
no.
It was close.
But they've got Miami coming to town this week.
But they were up 17 going into the fourth, or 17. I can math going into the fourth quarter.
Okay. Miami comes in as 4.5-point favorites at NC State. And I was told that Miami's good. I'm not going to say who told me that. But I think he's on the call. And I last year I was told NC State was good. I don't think that guy's on the call though. It's a different version of this guy.
That guy's most certainly on the call. Oh man, the best team in the ACC, NC State, RIP.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at Miami, and I'm taking their money line for the parlay. It's -190, something like that. But that's not the leg that we're going to get the value out of. We're going to get the value out of Kyle's ridiculous leg that he's about to give us. So, Kyle, what are you adding to Miami money line?
Just correction on Tyler Van Dyke's stat line. He threw 2 picks last week. He almost threw a 3rd pick that was right in the defender's hands and was dropped.
So you might have lost had he done that.
I'm pretty sure we still didn't get points off that drive, if I remember correctly.
The mast on that ship just would have stayed up.
Fun fact, it actually did for the first time.
The first time ever? Right when I said it?
It was such bad vibes. Like, we were still there. We were lighting the fireworks off the boat and everything. And my friend is just like, wait, the mast hasn't dropped. Like, we're going to lose tomorrow.
That's wild.
It just caused Tyler to have another bad game. And we overcame it because it's crazy how good we are in the trenches. If Tyler Van Dyke could throw the ball, he was pressured 0 times all game. He got all the time in the world and still managed to throw 2, almost 3 picks. I just really scared you about the game this week.
I'm just thinking about how I was playing NCAA 14 at the same time, and I was playing Miami versus Virginia, and I kept throwing interceptions, and I was like, what is happening?
So it's the same thing, clearly. It's just Virginia.
I guess.
But the leg that I'm adding to the podcast parlay, it is a ridiculous leg. It is. But I have to do it. It's Iowa Northwestern under 30.5. You wanted me to buy it up to 34 or 36 just to be safe. I'm not doing that. We're on the precipice of history here. It went under the last time we had a line this low, the Iowa Minnesota game. I think Northwestern is a worse team than Minnesota. Maybe that means Iowa scores too much. Maybe that just means Northwestern doesn't score at all. So I'm going the under. I'm going under under 30.5. It's minus 108 here on DraftKings, but probably minus 110 on Barstool. Imagine.
We've got Miami and the under in another bad Big Ten game. And combine those together, we get plus 194, as you can see on the screen. We're shooting for a win here, would put us at 1.82 units on the year, back in the positive in a big way. So go us on the road to winning, chasing winners.
Yeah, and you have an unforgivable thing going on this weekend. You have a fall wedding.
It's at least on a Friday.
That helps. It's not a fall Saturday.
What am I missing? What am I missing on Friday? He told me he scheduled it on. He was thinking of me when he put it on Friday.
You're missing Syracuse and Georgia Tech. I mean, you're missing Syracuse and Boston College,
BC.
Obviously. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not.
I think if I pull that up on my, do you think I can pull it up on my phone from the wedding, like during the ceremony as a groomsman? Do you think I can do that?
No, I don't think you'll get away with that one.
I think that'd be bad.
Especially for Syracuse versus Boston College. Maybe for Wyoming, Colorado State, but
not sure about
that. And I'm actually home for like the first time in a millennium, so that's nice.
Rowdy. I looked at my my travel that I have in November, and I counted up the total number of weeknights I'm going to be spending at home in the whole month. It's 6.
I may be close. You have the Hawaii trip, but I think I'm at like 9 or 10.
Well, I'm also spending all of Thanksgiving week in California, and not for work, just for fun. And then the 2 weeks that I'm not traveling for fun, I'm traveling for work.
Are you gonna be in California the week after Thanksgiving?
In Orange County, yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna be there too.
In Orange County?
Yeah. Week after Thanksgiving. Okay.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Wild times. Actually in the same place doing a live conference championship podcast for the 30.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, so on that note, think about that idea. Comment if you like it. Obviously, like, share, and subscribe, and do all that. That I think the button's down here, and everybody enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Deal.